Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hit. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day. And I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck athletics.
Postseason baseball. Ducks are the 11th seed, hosting a regional in Eugene. There's nothing like postseason baseball around PK Park, around the country. The Friday of the softball tournament and the baseball tournament, it's one of my favorite few days of the year. You get games going on all across the country, upsets, and it's always a ton of fun. Oregon is the 11 seed in the NCAA tournament. The Ducks will host a 4-team regional. It starts Friday at PK Park. Oregon facing the Ivy League champions in Yale. That's right. First ever meeting between Oregon and Yale on the baseball diamond. The 2 seed in the Eugene regional is Oregon State. The 3 seed in the Eugene regional is Washington State. It's a little Pac-12 reunion. I was talking to my buddy Trevor Williams, who calls the games for Washington State, and I said, so you coming to Eugene? He goes, yeah, Pac-12 reunion, baby, let's do it. And that's what we're getting here. So you get 3 of the old Pac-12 teams and then Yale. What a regional. I love baseball postseason. You get so many different permutations and combinations of first-time meetings. This is what it's all about. The Ducks are 40-16, and they will open the regional at 5 p.m. on Friday against Yale, a team that went 30-13-1. You'll notice those Ivy League teams often play less games than some of the others around the country. So Oregon and Yale at 5 o'clock. It's on ESPN+. We will have a 4:45 pregame show across the Oregon Sports Network. Now, the first game, though, of the Eugene Regional is a noon start between Oregon State, they're 43-12, and Washington State at 30-26. The winners on Friday advance to play on Saturday at 6 p.m. The 2 losers will meet in the first game of the day at 1 p.m. on Saturday at PK Park. The game times on Sunday are also set for 1 p.m. in the loser-out elimination game, and 6 p.m. for the championship game. If there is an if-necessary game needed in this Eugene Regional, it will be played on Monday, time to be determined after all of the Sunday action across the country. Now, it wasn't long ago where that if-necessary game actually occurred on Sunday evening. I really like that the NCAA and the baseball committee has changed that so that you get the reset to play the regional championship on Monday. Now, what does this mean then for the entirety of the bracket? Well, the whole bracket is actually, I think, a lot of fun this year. Oregon will be making its 6th consecutive appearance in the NCAA tournament. All 6 have come during this Mark Wasikowski era, and the return of Oregon baseball since 2009. The Ducks have been selected to participate in the NCAA tournament 11 times. That's a pretty great return rate for Oregon baseball making it to postseason. The current 6-year streak is the longest consecutive NCAA tournament appearances streak in program history. 6 straight times. Mark Wasikowski said when he got the job, he wanted to make it routine that Oregon was in the postseason. He has done that. The Ducks have done that. Bravo for making the postseason 6 straight times Oregon baseball. The Ducks are all-time 315, 357-1 against the field. That is a ridiculous number. Almost 700 games have been played by Oregon amongst the field. And it's the first ever meeting between Oregon and Yale. The Ducks have played a ton of games against Oregon State and against Washington State. There's some history in this regional, and it makes it fun. Now, look, I realize that everyone is going to be talking about Oregon and Oregon State, and I just want to take this moment to say the 2 teams might not play in the regional. Yes, Oregon's the 1 seed and Oregon State's the 2 seed. If it goes chalk, they would meet in that championship bracket, the winner's bracket, at 6 o'clock Saturday. The Cougs could beat the Beavs. You never know what happens in these things. So yes, Oregon State. The Ducks did cheer when they saw that Oregon State was the 2 seed in the regional. True story. Ducks were watching the selection show in the Star, and they all cheered when they heard their name. They also cheered when they saw the Beavs. Why not play your rival? Why not have an experience like this in the postseason? Because we knew in the Big Ten era this could be possible, right? That you'd get some of those old Pac-12 matchups, and Mark Wasikowski will talk about this coming up as he met with the media on Selection Monday. It's a Memorial Day tradition. We're going to hear from Waz, going to hear from Drew Smith, going to hear from Will Sanford. We will talk about the Big Ten tournament, but now it's turning the page to the next round of postseason. But listen to this. Since the return of Oregon baseball, the Ducks have gone to a regional in 2010. They won the Eugene Regional in 2012. They were in the Eugene Regional in 2013. They went to the Nashville Regional in 14. In 15, they went to the Springfield, Missouri Regional. Then there was that gap. Waz becomes the head coach. Eugene Regional in 21. Louisville Regional in 22. Ducks won the Nashville Regional in 23. They won the Santa Barbara Regional in 24. 25 Eugene Regional. 26 Eugene Regional. And we'll see what happens the rest of the way. Many fans, I know, have already received this email, and if you haven't, check your email inbox with all the ticket buying information. The public on sale begins tomorrow or Tuesday night. Tuesday night. We hope when that public sale occurs that fans will have already gone a long way toward packing PK Park with green and yellow. All session tickets are available for $110, reserved, and general admission $95. Tickets will be available to the public based on availability today. Gates and box office will open 1 hour before the start of the first game of each session. Each session of the regional will require an individual ticket, with the ballpark being cleared between sessions. Now, you're probably wondering, what about single session tickets to this Eugene Regional? They will be on sale based upon availability on Wednesday, tomorrow. So all session tickets go on sale today. Single session tickets go on sale tomorrow. Reserve tickets will be $18. General admission standing room only tickets will be $15. Gates and box office, again, opening 1 hour before the start of the first game of each session. Each session of the regional will require an individual ticket. Again, ballpark will be cleared. What about student tickets for the Eugene Regional? They will be available at 10 a.m. tomorrow. 10 a.m. on Wednesday, May 27th. Saul Galvan is here in the studio reacting very strongly to this news. Student tickets for the Eugene Regional. 10 a.m. Wednesday. Students are able to claim one free ticket. One free ticket students can claim for a session in which the Ducks play. A max of one ticket per student. Saul Galvan has his mic on. He actually put his mic down. You're reacting very strongly to this as our resident student ambassador of the Oregon Sports Network.
Who doesn't love free? As a college student, who doesn't love free? And playoff baseball? Playoffs? It's like a dream come true, really.
It's good. Dream come true. We love when dreams can come true. You know what else is free? Parking. Parking is free for the Eugene Regional. Clear bag policy. Students, have fun, will ya? Have fun. So 10 a.m. tomorrow, students can claim tickets. All session tickets based on availability going on sale today. Did we miss anything? What a time. I love postseason baseball. Yale won the Ivy League tournament back-to-back years. And it's interesting, since they don't play as many games as, say, like an Oregon does, they're a little tougher to get that sample size. But just looking at the numbers, they've got an older lineup that can hit, and they have, truthfully, a couple particularly relievers that have put together great seasons, have good numbers. Again, I realize it's Washington State, it's Oregon State, it's a fun regional matchup, but again, Yale's here for a reason. And as Waz even said when asked about Oregon State and everything else, he's like, dude, we got to beat Yale first. It's going to be a great environment at PK Park. I hope that it's going to be filled with green and yellow. Oregon, the 11 seed. So, to zoom out on the entire bracket now, Oregon as the 11 seed. Remember, it's 16 sites, and it is a 4-team pod at each site, a double elimination bracket to determine who advances to the Super Regionals. The Super Regionals will be 3-game series. If the bracket were to go chalk, Oregon as the 11 seed nationally would end up matching up with Texas, the 6 seed. Now, who else is in the Texas bracket? Holy Cross, Tarleton State, and isn't this interesting? The 2 seed is UC Santa Barbara. UCSB is the 2 seed in that Texas bracket. If I'm Texas, I wouldn't want to see Flora on the hill. UC Santa Barbara's got a legit pitching staff. They're going to be in these games. Oh, this is going to be fun. 3 Big Ten teams earning host bids. USC's a 2 seed. But UC Santa Barbara, I mean, you don't know. Like, so even though Oregon is the 11 seed, again, if Texas wins, then the Ducks, should the Ducks win, would go to Texas. But you don't know. UC Santa Barbara, good team. Ducks have seen them. Good team. I love postseason baseball. And you know what? I love the build-up to it, especially because there's so many scenarios and you get to have all this fun, and especially when you're at home, it's like you're just waiting for this release of all the energy. But then remember, it can turn in a hurry. As they say in baseball, you're only as good as your next starting pitcher. Well, the Ducks have had some pretty darn good starting pitching of late. And even though it didn't go the way they wanted with an interesting ending in the Big Ten tournament championship game, Ducks won 40 games this year. And they still feel like they've got potential to realize. That's where you want to be heading into the postseason. We'll break down the whole bracket. We'll look further at Yale throughout the week. Also, some product news to tell you about Wyndham Clark as well as Riku Nishida. Some honors for Oregon softball, NCAA track and field, West Regionals coming up beginning tomorrow. And also this week, we've got Missy Lombardi, Oregon softball head coach. She joined us here in the studio actually this morning. We have that for you coming up, and we're going to chat with Tanner Bradley, with Ryan Cooney, with Mark Wasikowski heading into this Eugene Regional. A lot to unpack. Postseason, nothing like it. Never gets old watching a Duck team celebrate on a selection day. Never gets old. Can never take it for granted. When we come back, let's hear from Mark Wasikowski. Postseason baseball. Ducks begin their regional run Friday at 5 o'clock. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey campers, it's Jan from Toyota. This summer, we're headed to Camp Toyota, and the fun starts now. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey campers, it's Jan from Toyota. This summer, we're headed to Camp Toyota, and the fun starts now. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Shauna, my mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon baseball, Eugene Regional, coming to PK Park. There's going to be a fan fest around PK Park. Washington State and Oregon State get things started at noon on Friday, and then 5 o'clock Oregon faces Yale. Friday night, it's on ESPN+. We'll have every game on the Oregon Sports Network. Myself and Ryan Milano we've been looking forward to being back at PK Park for a regional for a long time, especially since last year. The environment at PK Park was outstanding. You get weird things that happen in baseball, much like in the Big Ten Tournament Championship game, actually. But remove all that, right? Like, this is a new season now in the postseason. Double elimination bracket, Yale the first opponent. And again, it never gets old seeing your name called. The Ducks were watching the selection show at PK Park yesterday. Head coach Mark Wasikowski breaking down the selection. The Ducks are the number 11 overall national seed, welcoming Oregon State, Washington State, and Yale to the Eugene Regional. Here's Waz.
Well, there's a historic nature to this. First time ever that these two programs are meeting in the postseason. You guys reacted pretty nicely. What's your thoughts to not only hosting and all the things that come with it, but that your rivals coming here too?
Well, I mean, you knew that was a possibility when we went into the Big Ten, right? And they spread conferences, and you got us in the Big Ten, and you got the old pack spread out now, and with Stanford and Cal being possibilities, and all the other leagues now, you can really stack West Coast regionals with West Coast teams, where you couldn't do that before because we're all in the same league. Now that we're not in the same league, we get a chance to do this. I think it's great. I think it's great for the fans. It's two good baseball teams that are in a regional where there's 4 teams. And let's not be short-sighted. The other 2 teams that are in a regional are really good as well.
What can you just say after already facing them this year? What's maybe different or stands out to you about this Oregon State team? I know you have to prepare for Yale first, but what are you reflecting on kind of after this season facing them?
My brain's not on Oregon State. We might not play them. And so, my brain's on Yale. That's our first opponent, and we're looking forward to getting prepared to match up against those guys and do everything we can to beat those guys on game 1.
And how has the past 2 weeks kind of prepared you for, past really 3 weeks? How have the past 3 weeks prepared you for postseason play?
Yeah, I mean, with what the teams had in front of them, for the last several weeks, it's been the best preparation you can possibly have, right? I mean, you've had heated games left and right, going up against the best teams in college baseball in the last several weeks, and us, going toe-to-toe with them. I mean, it's the best way to prepare, and we've been able to do that now, and so we're looking forward to this next stretch.
When you get multiple West Coast teams being able to come to Eugene Regional, there's always excitement when you guys get to host this, but what do you feel like that level of competition gets to bring as well to a situation like this where you guys can show what West Coast baseball is really all about in a regional like this?
Well, I think the country, especially the baseball people, they know about West Coast baseball. I don't think the people in Austin, Texas are super excited to have Santa Barbara rolling into their house. I don't think that, when you see USC rolling into your house, I don't think you're really excited about that. And the reason why is because those schools are really, really good, and they've got really deep teams, really deep pitching staff specifically. And West Coast baseball is known for that, and I think that's what you'll see in these regionals is really stout pitching staffs matching up from the West Coast against whoever they're playing.
Mitch was saying the other day was that we'd have preferred, the match was going to be what it was going to be, but we'd prefer the West Coast teams got spread out, not to have a king of the hill scenario in terms of maximizing opportunities to get to Omaha. And of course, that's what everybody would love in an ideal scenario, but what are your thoughts on the bigger picture of this? Like, if the West Coast is going to, one way or another, only one West Coast team is getting out of this, and then they have to, obviously go to the Super too. But
well, yeah, past Omaha. I mean, you want to, when you're a West Coast guy, you want to see West Coast teams have the best chance to be able to all meet up in Omaha and, have as many West Coast teams an opportunity to be able to meet up in a College World Series. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much the committees look at stuff like that. I mean, I think the answer to that is when you, seed them 1 to 64 and then you slot people that way and you don't care about travel costs. I don't think that's where we are right now in the college landscape. And so right now, you got, like, for example, you traditionally, you got a Florida playing against a Miami, you got a regional basis going on throughout the country. I think that's what you're going to see with Oregon State. I think this place will be a madhouse. PK Park has really become one of the toughest places to play in college baseball, and I'm sure that's what it's going to be like for anybody that Oregon's playing against in this next week's games.
You guys have historically added seats. Just how packed, in terms of actual number, are you permitted to make this place? Because no matter what the number is, you'll probably be able to meet it, but like what is the actual limit?
Yeah, I think the tickets are already sold out, and so I mean, I don't even think they opened up ticket sales. I think it just sold out all of a sudden. I mean, it's just the people around here are nuts for sports. I don't know what capacity seatings and stuff like that around here. Those decisions are over my head. Those are with the athletic director and other people. Those are better questions for them. I know that whatever seats they put in this place, they'll be filled.
I know that obviously the Big Ten tournament, you guys wanted to win that. Obviously, it goes to extra. You guys fall, but how do you feel like this team grew during that Big Ten tournament? Do you guys feel like you're playing your best baseball right now at a time where you're heading to postseason, where a couple losses and your guys' season is done?
Clearly, we're playing really good baseball right now, and the guys know it. And so, I don't know. Just watching the games last week, anybody who was watching those games know how competitive our team is and how good our team really is.
And just how much we knew your lineup had a lot of power, but just how much has your pitching staff grown throughout this season, and what role did they kind of play in getting you to this point where you're hosting a regional now?
Huge, the development of those arms. You had a lot of questions going in the season when you lost, guys like Grayson Grinsell and Jason Wrights and people like that. And then for the development of these young guys to be where it is, I think is remarkable. With Coach Flo, Dan Straley, Daryl Hunter behind the scenes, and Tim Cisnero, those kind of guys working with these guys, it's obvious that those guys have really developed their maturity levels, and they've pitched our way into this point, and hopefully they pitch us a lot further.
And guys like Angel and Junior just have come in really clutch, especially now heading into the postseason. Just how excited are you for them to also get this experience now of hosting a regional and really being a part of and making a big impact?
Yeah, and Braden Jackson, right? Those three freshmen are pretty remarkable, and they're getting a lot of accolades nationally, and they should. They're really a special. Those three guys are really special talents, and they've played very, very well. Two of those four are hitting in the top 4 in our order, and I think Junior's hitting like 5th or 6th. And so you're talking about huge pieces in what we're doing, and so the future's obviously bright for our program with those guys being only freshmen.
When you came here from Purdue a couple of years ago, this program was in a very different spot. Even this facility was a different looking building. What has it sunk in for you? Just kind of being able to host a regional in back-to-back years, being able to do this for this baseball program, a place that you had coached prior. Do you have time to reflect on that?
Not really. I just know this much. We have a thing out there in the outfield where it lists the regionals that we played in postseason. And the one thing that we start every single year is, it's going to be up there. So when you come back and you're a player here, you're a coach here, it's going to be reflected on whether you've made it to postseason or not, and it's going to be visible for everybody to see. So if you're, an older guy and you come back with your family and they look up there and they say, hey, Dad, when did you play here? And you say, well, I played here from 2021 to 26, which is really the time that we've been here as coaching staff. Those numbers will all be listed up there for postseason appearances. Every year we haven't missed. And, that's something we hold in front of our players, and we have to keep them accountable to where they know, it's going to be visible, whether you have success or you don't in a place like this at the University of Oregon. Fans expect it, and they should expect it. I'm glad to be a small piece of this, and hopefully we can get our guys, rallied up good enough to where we can get to the College World Series first time since 1954.
I know we talk about obviously moving on from one season to the next, but obviously it's hard not to reminisce from a season ago, that early exit in the Eugene Regional. Heading into this one, do you at all remind your team about what that feeling felt like a season ago, that early exit? Do they need that at all, or do you use that as motivation?
No, not when you've got more than 50% of your team's new. They don't, half the team they weren't here, so it wouldn't even be fair. Wouldn't be fair for those guys. You know, every year you've got different challenges. You got a different roster. It's a different club, and so this club right now they get a chance to define who they are from this point on for postseason play, right? And you play all year long to be able to position yourself for postseason, and then it's the teams that play the best that advance, and that's our objective this year is to play the best in the next weekend where we can advance the following weekend.
Well, it's over your 7 years. You guys have certainly cranked out some good pitchers for sure.
Yeah.
But the strength of this program under you has been hitting. I mean, that's been the greatest strength, I should say. Conversely, up the road, their greatest strength has been the pitching. And yes, they've also had some hitters, no doubt, quite a few. But their greatest strength has been the pitching. How and why is it, from your perspective, like in a recruiting, an equivalency sport, is it scholarship allotment and just how you go about it? Are you able to just offer more and put more towards the 9 position guys and maybe 1 or 2 arms and maybe 1 guy in the back end, and they're just trying to put together a 3-headed monster and cover up some things in the hitting side of things? Or just how is it that these 2 programs achieving this success, doing things not exactly opposite, but in a different way than each other? It's not the same mold.
I don't know. I mean, I think everybody's trying to get the best players you can in your program, you know, no matter if they're pitchers or position players. And sometimes you keep them and sometimes you lose them. You know, we saw yesterday with UCLA, you know, the Cervantes kid. I think he's a 2nd or 3rd round pick, and he shows up to college, right? And he turns down, I don't know how much the kid turns down to show up at UCLA. But, you know, they're fortunate when you get him and a Strickland to show up to campus. You know, Oregon State was fortunate when they got a Dax Whitney to show up to campus. You know, we're fortunate when we get, you know, Junior, you know, and then you got Laya and you got Braden Jackson that show up to campus. I mean, it really comes down to catching a break sometimes in the draft and then player development and guys. I just don't know that there's really a rhyme or reason sometimes why certain guys show up to certain places or whatever. I just think that sometimes you catch a break in one area or the next.
Pressing pause with Mark Wasikowski as we continue to preview Oregon's regional coming up here at PK Park. Ducks facing Yale to open the regional. Oregon State, Washington State also coming to Eugene. Noon on Friday, Oregon State, Washington State. 5 o'clock Friday, Oregon, Yale, Eugene Regional. More with Waz when we come back to Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
When life blindsides you with an injury, you need a team that's tough. For over 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been fighting for the people. This season, we're proud to partner with Oregon Athletics. Because whether it's on the field or in the courtroom, we're both determined to do what it takes to win. Morgan & Morgan, proud partner of Oregon Athletics. Injured? Dial pound law. Morgan & Morgan, 10150 Southwest 6th Avenue, Portland. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It's really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
I left my heart in Oregon. Oh, I left my heart in Oregon. Yeah, I left my heart in Oregon.
Stuck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon getting ready for postseason baseball. Coming off the Big Ten tournament, Ducks were the runner-ups, losing to UCLA in that championship game. Now it's a whole new season. Double elimination tournament at PK Park. Oregon facing Yale at 5 o'clock. Tickets go on sale tonight. Student tickets 10 a.m. tomorrow. So we'll already set his alarm for 9:50, 9:51, 9:52, 9:53. Good. That's what I like to hear. Continuing with Mark Wasikowski as he previews Oregon's regional here at PK Park.
Nationally, or at least locally, a lot of people want to litigate or relitigate RPI and certain strategic decisions regarding scheduling. You guys canceling Grand Canyon and what other programs have done historically, canceling maybe a game against Portland or something like that at convenience, and what games weren't able to be rescheduled when dates are available and the like. When the NCAA issues a letter about, from other people's perspectives, what was the actual penalty to programs that canceled? Now, one fan base is taking it out on you guys, but the top 20 teams, I think only one of the top 20 played all 56 regular season games. But we won't. Yeah. So
I see where you're going with the question. I think the committees probably did right, and they realized that the system has some weaknesses in it when it comes to RPI, and so instead of penalizing people for the current structure that they're looking at and saying, okay, we're going to do our best with the current structure, they didn't penalize teams, and they're probably going to look at it in the off season and say, how can we fix this? Which is the adult thing to do. And so I credit the committees for taking the adult stance and probably realizing there's some weakness in the RPI system and saying, okay, what do we got to do to where games aren't canceled and players are losing out on opportunities to play in games? Because ultimately, I want, and every coach out there wants their players to play in every single game possible, and a system's broken when you're playing games and winning games and your RPI is going down. And when the committee looked at that, I'm sure they probably said the same thing, and that's why they probably chose not to penalize people that are working within the current rules to the best of their ability to position their teams the right way. And so for me, I think it's a good job by the committee to be able to look at things and say to themselves, well, okay, we got some weaknesses here. Let's fix them in the off season when we can get all the minds in the same room and come up with right reasons. And until then, they realize that, you know what, with a broken system, let's not penalize people that are trying to do their best for their student athletes and position themselves the best chance for postseason play. And that's what we will do and we'll always do. We'll make the highest percentage chance to win a game decision or highest percentage chance to help our program in each and every aspect of our program, whether it's fundraising, whether it's recruiting, whether it's in-game strategy, or whether it's out-of-game scheduling. We'll always do the best for our program to position ourselves the best, and that's what we'll always do.
Long time to come up with scheduling for the future, but at this point, are you guys scheduled to play OSU next year, home and home, or Hillsborough, or anything to that?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We've got 3 games on the books with Oregon State, and remember it was with one in Hillsborough. And my desire is to play good baseball teams wherever and whenever we can. And so for me, I'm always interested in playing, whether it's Oregon State or whether it's anybody else that's really good. I always want to play them. We tried to, as a matter of fact, with a Grand Canyon situation where they had a 200 plus RPI situation, and that was going to penalize us moving forward, even if we won the games. We were proactively looking for quad 1 games to schedule, whether it was UC Santa Barbara, UCLA, USC, Oregon State again. We wanted to play any team that we possibly could, and even Gonzaga, but then they dropped to a quad 2 or even maybe a quad 3 in some scenarios game, and that wouldn't have benefited our program. So we weren't able to get a scheduled game on the books during a time when we would have loved to have. And I don't fault anybody, but we tried like crazy to be able to do that, and we always try like crazy to be able to play good teams to help our team with their postseason resume.
With you guys hosting, but being an NCAA event, how much are the Diamond Ducks able to be involved in actual operations? Because a home game is a different thing versus a quote-unquote
Diamond. I don't have any idea.
I just didn't know if they're going to have like a giveaway or anything like that.
I think they should do everything they can do to make this place hostile. We can take more questions. I'm not.
I got 2 players waiting on us.
That's okay. They don't have class.
Coach says you guys can play.
Want to make sure that you guys understand with Memorial Day, we're definitely, our hearts and everything are out there to the families of the people that are fallen, that stood up for our country to where we get a chance to talk about college baseball in this day. I want to make sure that you all hear that loud and clear, that I know the players in our program really respect the people that have gone through what they have to be able to have us sit in a room and get a selection show Monday on Memorial Day. I think it's just it's a humbling time because of what people's sacrifices have been. And so I think that's a really important thing to acknowledge today.
You'll open the postseason at home this year, but how important was that Nebraska game and that raucous environment and that crowd? How does that help, with the mettle of this team?
Well, it can only help us, right? I mean, it can only help us when you're playing. And that was, I guess, a neutral site game when we probably had, not very many fans compared to their, 12, 15,000 or whatever they had in the stadium. And we kept them out of the game. And that's what you do when you get a big fan base. You got to keep them out of the game by playing really good and pitching really good. And every time they tried to get into the game, we did something to take them out of it. Will Sanford specifically, and great defensive plays around the horn. So, I think no matter where you're playing, when you're playing, you're always going to have those environments that you're going to need to sort through. That can only help us with what's in front of us. Yeah.
Are you in favor of moving the tournament out of Omaha? Would you want to see it played in Arizona or Las Vegas?
Which tournament? The Big Ten tournament? Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I'm not there mentally.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let the format change this year.
Great format change.
Better than before, but there was still
Great.
some math that was damaging even to you in the short term. With some teams who advanced, like it didn't help anybody for for UW or Michigan State to win games. Other than those two teams, it didn't help the conference.
Yeah.
I don't know if Purdue and Michigan ended up making it, but it certainly didn't help their cause if they got left out.
Yeah, they got left out this year, which is disappointing. I thought they had a chance to get in there. Purdue specifically was toe-to-toe with UCLA for their opportunity when they played them. They won a couple of games. We didn't see, the fifth and sixth basically slotted teams in our league advance, which is disappointing. I'd like to be able to, and really that's our job now is as the teams that did advance, and I don't know if we can all make it to Omaha with how the brackets and so forth are set up. Hopefully we can. I haven't looked at the brackets, but hopefully there can be four. I guess there's 4 Big Ten teams in the tournament. Hopefully all 4 can make it to Omaha, and people can go, wow, that's a real conference, and that's our job. And when we do that, then I think there'll be more interest in having more Big Ten teams in the future. But I thought the tournament structure was a real win for our conference, primarily because at the beginning of this thing, the Big Ten, the tournament structure wasn't great. And the pool play wasn't great. Everybody acknowledged that. The Big Ten had the courage to move out of that thing immediately, and that was probably unlike what people thought the Big Ten would do. And I think them being proactive and doing that says a lot about the conference and their desire to be great in baseball.
That's Mark Wasikowski. A lot of great points heading into this Eugene Regional. Kind of a zoom out a bit. Now you get ready for that new season that is postseason baseball at PK Park. That's Waz. Every time we talk with Waz, it's brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. Talk about being close to home. It's nice to host at PK Park. And fans, I hope it's an awesome environment. I know it's going to be an awesome environment. Postseason. Trying to get to Omaha. In Oregon's case, trying to get back to Omaha after what was admittedly a little bit of a disappointing Big Ten tournament ending. But the quarterfinals and the semifinals for the Ducks, pretty indicative, the way those two games went, of how Oregon could be in the postseason to make a long run back to the College World Series. When we come back, a new Pro Duck to tell you about, and we're going to hear from Drew Smith and Will Sanford on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon baseball hosting the Eugene Regional, the number 11 national seed. The Oregon Ducks at 40-16. Oregon State, Washington State, and Yale coming to this Eugene Regional. And some great news from a Oregon baseball alum over the weekend. Riku Nishida got called up to the bigs. Oh, it was so cool. Congratulations to the new pro Duck. He tallied his first hit, threw out a guy at home. Second baseman was playing some right field, and he threw out a guy at home. Had 7 putouts, it sounded like, in the debut for the White Sox. And White Sox posted an awesome video of him getting the Gatorade shower, Riku Nishida. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And a moment that you'll never forget for Riku Nishida. Remember, he hit with a wood bat here at Oregon. Went through a ton of different bats, ultimately settled on that wood bat, and it was so cool to hear that he was getting called up. And even after the loss to UCLA, there were some guys that were talking about, hey, did you hear Riku got called up? That was cool to hear. And that was the first question that was actually asked to Drew Smith on Selection Monday. Memorial Day, always when the selection show is for college baseball. And Drew got asked, here right off the bat, just about Riku Nishida and one of his old teammates. Pretty cool. Drew Smith talking Riku and the Eugene Regional.
Thoughts on seeing Riku get the call up?
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
I was super pumped, and whenever I saw that on Instagram last night, I mean, first thing I did was text him, and my freshman year was really special with that group, and seeing him succeed and get to where he's at now was really awesome.
Just what was the path for him? Obviously, he was a great teammate. I mean, skill-wise, I don't know that a lot of scouts would have said, hey, that's a big leaguer, but what do you think got him there?
I mean, his story's incredible, and what he dealt with his mom, and just coming over from Japan and going to a JUCO in Oregon, and then coming here and just being the player that he is really special, and I'm really just stoked for him.
There aren't a lot of people that will be able to tell their kids or family members one day that they played in the NCAA regional all 4 years of college. What did it mean to you?
That's awesome. Like you said, not many people get to say that, but the coaches do a great job of preparing us every year, and I'm just grateful that I've been able to come to a place like Oregon and have such special experiences like that.
For the first time in program history, you guys will get to face Oregon State in the postseason. It almost felt like your guys' excitement was maybe more excited than seeing your guys' name on the bracket. Just why did you guys feel like you had a team had that initial reaction? Just how excited you would potentially have an opportunity to face, your in-state rival right here in Eugene in the postseason?
I mean, who doesn't love that game? I've been here for 4 years, obviously, and every time it's a good game and chirpy, and their fans are awesome, our fans are awesome. So an environment like that with a lot on the line is just, I mean, you can't ask for much more than that.
What's unique and special about that one? Because obviously you guys got into it pretty good with UCLA this year and have historically with them, and others, in SC in particular. But like, what is it about the OSU series that just seems like that the intensity goes up a few notches?
I mean, they're just right up the road, and I mean, their fans are always on us, and our fans are on them. It's just good baseball. Competitive baseball, that's all you can ask for.
You've kind of seen PK Park as a facility grow up over the 4 years you've been here. Like, you're watching the selection show from a bar that wasn't here 6 months ago, and the PDA went up there. I don't think that was here when you took an official as a freshman, but what's it been like to see this program go from where it's been to what it is right now, where you're a top 11 seed in the tournament?
Well, it's a testament to the guys that came before us and setting the standard of how we do things. it gets passed on from each group of guys, and it's really important for guys like me or leaders on the team to carry that on and make sure that things are done the right way.
For the guys that were here, a season ago was obviously a disappointment here in the Eugene Regional. At any moment now, knowing that you guys are going to be hosting, is there any sort of messaging that core group has said to each other that was here to just kind of remind themselves that this season can end in the blink of an eye? Do you guys need that? Do you say that? What are those conversations like as you guys get ready for this Eugene Regional?
I mean, we felt it a little bit last week, but I mean, every game at this time of year is really important. Just taking it day by day and really just enjoying the time with the guys, because like you said, it could be over really quick. So just really soaking it up and having as much fun as possible.
What was your biggest takeaways kind of over the past 3 weeks with the series against UCLA and USC and your result in the Big Ten tournament?
I mean, just really good baseball, and I mean, that's how you have to play in order to have championship baseball. So you got to be on every single pitch. You can't miss one, or else you might not get the result like we didn't get yesterday. But just staying with it and just going for it every day.
The games that you faced Oregon State, I know you guys you might not even face them at all in the regional, but the games you have faced them have been midweek games, midweek pitchers. Just how excited are you just to be in an environment where it's the top guys on the mound, you guys are going at it potentially, and just the environment that can be here at PK Park this weekend? Yeah,
this place can start rocking whenever there's a lot of people, and it's just, like I said, it's just so much fun. You can't ask for much more, and playing a great team like Oregon State, it's gonna be a good time, but we got to focus on Yale first.
And I know, just hosting a regional, I feel like it's kind of a no-brainer. Like, hosting a regional is awesome. You get to play at home. But for you, what is the biggest advantage of hosting a regional, playing at home that first weekend especially?
It's definitely our fans. Having, 5,000-6,000 on our side is definitely an advantage. And we felt it this last weekend whenever we were in Omaha playing Nebraska. I think they had 10,000 plus there. So, obviously it didn't go great for them, but having that energy and somebody feeling you like that is just incredible.
Coach Was talked a little bit about what it meant for the team to be able to have Monday selection on Memorial Day and what it means for them. I'm just wondering for you, what does it mean for you to be able to have a moment like this with your team, but also on a day where we remember those?
It's just really special. It's just really special.
Drew Smith, never gets old to hear your name called. I'm telling you, it just never gets old. Seeing just the pure joy after all the hard work that it takes to get there, it's what it's all about. Now, it is a quick turn, though, right? It's preparing now for Yale. The coaches have been, I'm sure, looking at video. They're looking at all of the different scenarios that Yale's been in and what they do. This is what the scouting is all about. But then so many of these student athletes, right, that are finishing school, right? Oregon is a quarter school. The Ducks don't have graduation until mid-June, and so there's the academic side as Oregon continues to get ready for this Eugene Regional. Again, tickets going on sale to the general public tonight. Green and yellow, baby. It's going to be fun at PK Park. We'll talk a little bit about the Big Ten tournament in a moment, some other news around Oregon athletics, but also how about Will Sanford? Here's a guy that, apart from, if you butter knife off 2 or 3 of his starts that have all kind of had extraneous circumstances to him, he's been one of the best in the country. And even with a couple of those starts, when Oregon had a series get moved up a day and he was on short rest pitching against Michigan, right, didn't have his best outing. And against UCLA didn't have his best outing, but was excellent in the Big Ten tournament. Will Sanford, if you look at some of those honestly tremendous outings he's had, you go, boy, that guy could really be an ace, has been an ace for Oregon. Will Sanford met with the media getting ready for this Eugene Regional.
There aren't a lot of sophomores in the country who can get up in front of that Nebraska crowd and in that environment and do what you did. What does that say about the mettle of this team and for yourself, getting your growth over the past year?
Yeah, just a lot of mental growth I've had over this year, and just the belief I've built from last year to this year has been great. And it just, the coaching staff and my teammates just building me up and having faith in me, it just makes it easier to pitch.
You were working out of the bullpen this time last year, and now you're probably going to be the first guy out the chute in game 1 of a regional. What's that mean to you?
I'm excited. Can't wait. I want to set the tone, and even if I don't get the ball that first game, I'm going to be a good teammate and be by my guys, but we're hungry, and I just can't wait to go.
This team has really seemingly hit its stride, it feels like, over the last couple of weeks from the UCLA series, obviously, to this Big Ten tournament. What do you feel like's really clicked for you guys in these last couple of weeks to where it really looks like you're playing your best ball right now on the diamond?
I just think playing for each other has been the main thing, we just love each other, and we play for each other. We play hard, and we just have full belief in everyone that's on the field, and we're hungry right now. So yeah.
Seems like you guys were really excited when you saw Oregon State on the board. Just what was your initial reaction, and just what maybe the conversations like in the locker room when you found out that it might be a possibility that you would see Oregon State in the Eugene Regional?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a couple of projections of them being there for a couple of weeks, so I mean, it's exciting. I mean, they're our rivals, and it's just going to be an electric atmosphere. We just love playing them, and especially in a regional, it's going to be even better.
What was your experience of just getting a sense for the flavor of that rivalry and kind of how much it mattered to people around here? Was it immediately apparent? Do you feel like you've learned about it along the way?
Oh, I mean, it was immediate. I think the first home game we had against them last year, I mean, you could just feel the energy. And I even got to start down there in Goss last year, so I know how it is, and I've seen it, and it's just a great atmosphere.
What was Goss like compared to the Nebraska fans out in Omaha? Obviously more Nebraska, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, they have a great fan base. They get that place rocking, but I mean, Nebraska definitely.
What he did, I thought in that outing, it was interesting. Like I was one of the people that voted for the All Big Ten tournament team, or the Big Ten All Tournament team. I always do that backwards. The All Big Ten tournament team versus the Big Ten All Tournament team. Anyway, point is, the tournament team in the Big Ten tournament. And I thought Will Sanford seriously deserved the most outstanding player vote. If Oregon had won that game against UCLA, I think he would have won the most outstanding player, because to do that the second game of the day, because remember with Mother Nature and the schedule and just everything else, Oregon ended up playing 2 games, a quarterfinal game and a semifinal game, same day, with a gap in between them, when UCLA beat USC in that semifinal. Sanford's got to then pitch at night. It's against Nebraska. That's not a neutral site game in Omaha. Nebraska fans were fired up. I thought that Will Sanford deserved the most outstanding player. And if he pitches like that, and if Cal Scolari pitches like he did, and if Miles Gostola keeps pitching like he's been, I mean, that is a tough rotation to crack if you're Oregon. Talk about the Big Ten tournament when we come back. Some other news around Oregon athletics. Ducks hosting postseason baseball at PK Park. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs. And for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working at our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
We just kind of knew from the beginning that we were family.
They showcased a sense of love that I never had before. I mean, he's not only my parent, he's like my best friend.
At the end of the day, it's all been worth it. I wouldn't change a thing about our lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom? She started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. The Big Ten tournament featured some great games. Quarterfinal was outstanding against Washington. Ducks had a shutout in the 9th. They shut out Nebraska in Omaha. 8th shutout this season for Oregon baseball, the second most in D1. Impressive what the Duck pitching staff has done. Cal Scolari, Will Sanford, Miles Gastola, excellent. But part of a shutout is also the defense. And although this occurred, the play that I want to highlight here, although this occurred during the UCLA game, Oregon executed a wheel play about as well as you are ever going to see at any level of baseball. Setting. Gastola checks the runner. Ducks put the play on. Bunt put down toward third base. Smith fields, throws over to third to get the play, and over to first for a double play. Oh, my goodness. Oregon put the wheel play on. Drew Smith charged in, fielded the bunt, threw to Maloney covering third, who then made a great throw to first base. Oregon rolls 2. What defense by the Ducks. You heard it in my call. I was genuinely surprised that it worked. How often do you see wheel plays where you only get the lead runner? Like, you can get the lead runner, but the double play? Tremendous work by Oregon's defense. And the defense was really on point for Oregon, particularly in the infield in the Big Ten tournament. You know, Gabe Miranda has been asked to do a tough assignment, a natural first baseman who's been playing some left field for the Ducks. And apart from one play where a ball knuckled on him, like, Oregon's defense has been great. That's what they're going to need here in the postseason. Some teach tape, as they say, on that wheel play. On the other diamond, Elon Butler today announces a D1 softball first-team All-American. One of the best individual seasons in Oregon softball history. Set or tied 6 program records this year, Elon Butler did. Definitely an All-American. NCAA Track and Field West Regionals begin tomorrow. Ducks qualified 54 entries, 28 on the men's side and 26 in women's events. Top 12 finishers in each event will advance to the NCAA Championships back here in Eugene at Hayward Field, June 10th through 13th. Among Oregon's entrants are 8 Ducks pulling double duty, which is pretty amazing when you think about the amount of scoring opportunities for the Ducks. Led by head coach Jerry Schumacher, announced as the Big Ten Coach of the Year after he led both the Oregon men and women to conference outdoor titles, thus matching the triple crown of Big Ten championships for the 25-26 year. Tracktown USA, baby. Wyndham Clark, congratulations are in order to Duck men's golf alum Wyndham Clark. He won the PGA Tour's CJ Cup Byron Nelson over the weekend. He shot a final round 60 on Sunday to wrap up the win, giving him 4 career tournament titles, lifetime earnings of over $32 million for Wyndham Clark. Shout out to the pro Duck and Wyndham Clark. Finally, the Oregon football fan sports pass. If you have not heard us talk about this before, head to GoDucks.com. It's on sale. Limited quantity available for Autzen Stadium, guaranteeing season-long access to Autzen for home games. Good times. More Oregon baseball preview on Duck Insider. See you tomorrow.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate each instrument. The rhythmic bass, the harmonies